Hello, podcast listeners. This is JJ Gordon, your host with the most, and Tucker's here as well, but I don't ever let him talk during the intro. Sit back and relax. Enjoy this episode of JJ Meets World. We're going to bounce around a little bit, but there's some really good laughs in here and a great tease for the next episode of JJ Meets World. And by the way, if you'd like to help support our podcast, visit jjmeetsworld.com where you can donate to our Patreon, pick up some killer swag at our merch shop, or click the link to Apple Podcast and give us a 5-star review.
1, 2, 3, 4. JJ Gordon, sort of like that Indiana Jones, in that he's always sniffing out his next adventure. Yes, he is. He's always interviewing guests so he can have them on his show and they can talk about pop culture, arts, and leisure. JJ has his flag unfurled and he likes his french fries curled, and he's fun and then he twirled as he goes to meet the world. He will march into the rain even if his ankle sprained. Take a peek inside his brain. This podcast is called JJ Meets World.
John Kennedy, that kid is killing it.
I know.
Holy shit.
Are we recording? You want to have this be the start of it?
If you want.
I mean, we sure could, because like, I do. I also agree that
Let's just start with that. That guy is fucking killing it.
Yeah. There's some big comedian, like a big touring comedian, who really took a shine to John. And so John's been opening for this guy, and I can't remember his name.
Is it Ari Shaffir?
I don't remember.
I looked at his bio recently, and it listed who he'd been like opening for, and that was one of the larger names. Oh, Todd Barry.
Yes, that's the one.
Barry.
That's the one.
Yep.
And John's got a show coming up, in Fargo, and I heard his dad talking to him on the phone asking for comps. And I was like, you can pay to go to your son's show.
Son's
like
show.
just go to it. Just buy a ticket. It looks good. We had a conversation. So have you noticed how some people don't call each other? They only like FaceTime each other. They want to like video call.
I don't have a relationship like that with anyone except my sister when she's in Arkansas. And that's like maybe once a month.
And you want to see the kids.
But I will see people walking around a grocery store, and yeah, they've got FaceTime on, speaker on. They're not even looking at it. They're just holding it while they're talking out loud. And it's like, yeah, I need to be able to see.
Let me tell you about the last 2 times I've been to Outback Steakhouse. That happened. Like, I'm sitting adjacent to someone who literally puts a phone, like they use the salt and pepper shakers to balance it, and they're there. And at one point, the person who is watching them stops talking because the people are eating. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
They want to maintain that connection,
It's just bizarre. And of course, people talk loud on phones to begin with, but when it's a video call, I feel like people talk really loud.
Yeah. Macs do actually a pretty good job of doing some voice isolation on that now, so you don't have to really do that anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised they're not upgrading to an iPad.
Yeah, they will eventually. It's like, do you remember Natalie's mom, Connie? So she used to come to our line bender shows, right? And she would use her iPad to take photos of the show. So she's holding up above everyone's head like baby Simba from Lion King to take these pictures. And we're watching her try and fumble to get to the button with her fingers. So she's like going up and down and up like she's stroking this iPad. And at one point, I finally called it out during a show, and I'm like, would everyone just wait for one moment while Connie Deutsch takes a photo for us?
There's no way to not look fucking dumb.
Right?
When you're taking a photo with an iPad.
And you know what? It's probably the same reason why, people squint when they are when they're filming something, when you put the old VHS recorder here and then you'd see someone and they'd be squinting the eye that's not on the camera thing. And I'm like, just close your eye. Just, you're trying to focus solely out going, oh, this, just close your eye. You don't need to squint. And then they do that thing where they kind of pull back their upper lip and they're like, I'm getting it. Look at that. Whose birthday is it? I got it. I got 2 compliments this week that I would really like to share on JJ Meets World. I really am excited about it.
Go for it. Lay it on us.
Okay, so the first one was shout out to Rachel who's listening to this. She's a frequent JJ Meets World.
She complimented you?
Well, she sent a compliment from somebody else.
Okay. There's no way she would compliment you or anyone.
She does. Rachel compliments me all the time. Like, and in fact, Rachel also gives me a lot of notes, like on things that I could like improve on. And sometimes she's right and sometimes she's wrong. She's like a radio consultant.
Yeah.
Sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't.
Anytime Rachel has complimented me, I put quotes around it because the tone of voice does not sound complimentary.
So, and here's the thing. At one point, she must have taken a photo of me, maybe with or without my knowledge. But whoever she was talking to said, "Is JJ on Ozempic?" And the answer is no. But I thought, what a nice compliment about like my bodice.
Or were they saying that you have Ozempic face? Because apparently that's the thing.
I don't think so.
What does that even mean, though, Ozempic face? Like, what is that supposed to look like?
Okay, well, you know, like when people lose weight, like you can see this, like if you're a bigger person, you lose weight really fast. You can really see it like in the loose skin that holds down.
Okay.
And the way like, because like, you lose weight so fast on something like Ozempic that your skin doesn't have time to kind of like naturally like go back to the way it's supposed to be.
Got it.
And so imagine if you inflate a balloon and then you let all the air out and then you look at it afterwards and you're like, oh,
testicle sack with no balls.
Bingo. And the second compliment was yesterday I was grilling for a friend's birthday. And so it's about, you know, all said and done is like 30 people. It's a little bit of everything. I did a ham, burgers, brats, hot dogs, vegetable mixes, chicken wings. I mean, it was a great moment in history, right? But this woman I had never met before goes, "Gosh, it smells like a restaurant over here." And I was like, "Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that." And then she didn't even know who she's talking to, but she made a blatant statement in this group we're with. She's like, "Well, I'm like the biggest Muppets fan ever." And I wanted to be like, "Bish, please." And so then we started talking back and forth, and I didn't want to call her out, but there's some stuff that she said that I was like, "Well, you're talking about stuff that's Muppet adjacent." But like it doesn't really go into it.
Are you saying like things that the Jim Henson workshop worked on?
No, that they didn't, but people have always thought that they did.
In the
so
vein
so she was giving credit to stuff. And then she said that she doesn't like Star Wars because she had like a partner who was too into Star Wars. But she does. Who is it that she said she likes so much? Oh, she's like the band in Star Wars. And I wanted to be like, well, okay. Are we talking about the Cantina Band? Because that was the costumer, not Jim Henson, like Creature Shop. Or are you talking about the band in Jabba's Palace, which I think it was like a couple of those things. But then they were also a bunch of costume pieces. And then they added just CGI when they made the Reduxes in 1997.
This person's all over the map.
All over the map. And we talked about how they're re-releasing the Muppet movie, the original Muppet movie in theaters for like a couple days and seeing it on the big screen. I'm like, I'm really excited about it. And she's like, "I'll probably see you there." And I said, "You won't." So
I love how defensive you get over your.
I was so defensive.
You were gatekeeping the Muppet fan.
I 100%. Just because I just want to be like, it's fine to say that you love the Muppets, and I think that is awesome, but don't all of a sudden start telling everyone you're the best at Muppets.
What did she eat?
She had a hot dog, and she put a lot of mustard on it.
Yeah, okay, that's. I mean, hot dogs are fine, but of the things that were being served that day,
I don't know why anyone would choose a hot dog.
Did you do brats?
Yeah.
And hot dogs?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did brats like from the raw state. Like, so, you know, because
hell yeah,
you can have like a smoked brat that's already cooked, but like these were raw that I cooked on the grill.
Nice. Man, I was looking for brat stands yesterday, but they're not out yet.
I know that. In fact, I was telling someone about the brat stand barons and about how I'm surprised more places haven't come to grips with the fact that like, this is such a good idea.
Right.
And you know, you talk to like,
it's only the grocery stores that are doing it though, right?
Right, but there should be more.
Right.
There should be more. And I'm not talking about starting a food truck, but I just think like there's more opportunities for people to do that. And it's such a great fundraising opportunity for groups.
Right.
And I think you can't even get into the amount. Now, it'll be interesting to see how long some of the local grocery stores do it. and continue with it because their big corporate owner, I don't think, wants to take on the liability of having people and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Bratstand Barons will step up if that happens, and we will defend the Bratstands. A letter writing campaign shall ensue.
I wonder if there's been a discussion at all about like health codes with it because,
Maybe.
you know, do you remember how Metro Drug, that drugstore in downtown Fargo, used to grill burgers until someone like complained that they're getting grease all over the sidewalk and the blah, blah, blah. And it turns out it was a bunch of restaurant owners who were pissed that they were doing $5 burgers on Fridays on a little Weber grill.
Yeah.
People are jerks.
Are businesses just not able to stay in business in this town?
It's a good question.
Because there have been a lot of, what was it? Fargo Brewing declared bankruptcy.
But now they were just restructuring debt.
Okay.
And I think that there's some other stuff that we just have not been privy to yet.
Right. Replay Games is closing down.
That one, oh, poor CJ.
Yeah, I feel
that
bad
one
for
breaks
those-
my heart.
I feel bad for those guys, but I also had kind of wondered how would it work, at least in downtown Fargo and all the other things. I'm not a business owner, so I don't want to judge. And then the news came out, at least on KFGO's website, about Elite Properties, Elite Management, or whatever it's called. Epic. Not Elite, Epic.
Yeah, Elite is massages.
Elite is massages. They're doing great.
Yeah.
They've been around for a while.
Actually, I think there's like 9 businesses in Fargo that start with Elite because there's like Elite Parking and there's like Elite Sandjacking. So yeah, there's a lot of elites.
I feel like there should be some level of competition to earn elite status.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Like if you're renting a car and you're going to get elite status, you have to have done it a bunch, and they're like, "Yo, you're really good at renting."
Yeah, they don't just give you a credit card that says Elite on it because you signed up at a Cubs game.
No, and I mean, also, do you want to? It also sounds like you're exclusionary, right? Like we're elitist over here, so you have to be the cream of the crop to come and use our services.
What if there's a way you can get like a dictatorship credit card? Like you've become so good that you are now the dictator of this credit.
You own stock in the company now.
Yeah, a little bit, right? There have been quite a few businesses that have failed recently, and I think the word failed is unfortunate because a lot of places gave it their go. The Fish and Chicken Shack on North Broadway that used to be in the old Happy Joe's, I ate there once. Oh, out of this world, but it was just one guy.
Yeah.
Right. And like when you walked in, he's like, you can't stay here because I'm cooking and I don't want to mop the floor. So you're going to have to take this to go.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, guy.
Yeah. Sorry, man. That's not going to work that way.
Have we heard where the new Happy Joe's is going to go?
No. I did just drive past the new Pizza Hut though in North Fargo. I'm excited to eat there, but no, Happy Joe's.
Wait, hold on. It's not a sit down, is it? It's just one of those to goes like in a strip mall?
I think it's a to go. It's in the strip mall that used to have Videoland, I think. Right up there. I thought
it was the one where it had Blockbuster.
Both were there. No, not Northport. It's not in it's not in the Northport strip mall. It's in the one just to the north of that.
Okay.
I believe.
Like adjacent to like Broadway Junction, like used to be up there, right?
I
Like,
think so. Yeah.
Way North Fargo is one of those places where I just don't have like the background with it other than going to visit you or to visit Natalie at one point.
There used to be a Chinese buffet up there called the Yummy Chinese Buffet, and I really liked it. It was very yummy.
Oh, yeah?
Very, very yummy. But
you know what it all took? That's what I'm going to have for lunch now. All you had to say was Chinese buffet, and I'm like, that sounds great.
Yeah. Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, now I want lo mein. God, I'm so hungry.
What time will these Chinese buffets open?
I don't know.
Do you want to be the first person through the door when the Chinese buffet opens?
Yeah, I think so, because you're probably getting the freshest ingredients.
That's what I think, too.
I think so, too. Or maybe wait first half hour, right?
First half
hour. Just in case they are giving you any leftovers that are out there. But I don't think they are.
What's your favorite Chinese buffet?
Right now, it's Giant Panda.
Giant Panda.
Yeah. It would have been King House, but
me too.
Rest
the
in peace,
lobster
King House.
rolls that King House, no one's been able to get close to them.
I think they had a lemon chicken that tasted really, really and the butter shrimp.
The only downside about butter shrimp is it does not look appetizing.
That's fine. I just need to get it on my taste buds.
It looks like a bunch of baby fingers.
I watched
in white sauce.
I've been going on an Anthony Bourdain kick lately.
Oh, really?
For some, like the algorithm and the internet's just going, hey, for some reason you want to watch these. I'm like, yeah, I do want to watch these. I don't know why. And sometimes I'm like, oh, this is a great recipe for a stew. Looks like it'd be really easy to make. I should learn this. And then other things I'm like, why the fuck did you want to eat that? And there was some dish that I just saw him eat where he was visiting some world famous chef. I don't know what country, some European country. And he was served a rabbit where they have the rabbit, they empty it out, but they leave the rest of the body intact. They puree like all its organs and stuff, and then stuff it back inside, and then make a sauce from its own blood and other viscera, and then pour that over the entire thing, and they give it fake eyes with olives or whatever, and then they serve it to you, and it looks like just a fucking rabbit. Like a dead rabbit. And he's like, oh, I've been waiting for this forever. You never could eat something like that. I think it was maybe just the novelty of it. But then him and the chef and everyone eating it, they're like, oh, this tastes so good. This tastes so good. I'm like, how could that taste good? That looks like roadkill. Like, why would you want that? But I don't know. I think if I was in that position, I would take a bite just to go, hey, I tried it, just to understand what it tastes like. But I don't understand things that look so unappetizing. Let's try it. Like, who was the first person to go, I want to try cooking a rabbit a different way. Let's just leave everything on it and let's make this look like a nightmare and then eat it like that.
I think because, one thing in particular, like a rabbit, different organs taste differently, right? And so like putting those together, like I gotta admit, like I think this sounds like delicious. I'd love to try this.
Now I was just drooling over the idea of brats a minute ago, which is essentially the same kind of idea.
Let's stuff it all into this casing.
But the
fat.
The presentation, though, I'm used to it, right? The presentation looks delicious. This looked like it just like, oh yeah, we just cut open this rabbit. It looked like something you would serve like a medieval king.
I can't, of all the things that I eat, the one thing I can't get past is when you serve something with its head on.
This had its head on, yeah.
So like that is the rub, I guess you could say, is I don't want to see the head.
I need my food to not look like the animal it was harvested from.
Oh, do you want to hear something exciting in my life? I was talking at, I called it my meat church, me running the grill yesterday, my meat church, come to my church. And I was talking to a friend, and I said, one of my bucket list items is to do a whole pig, is like to have a celebration, a Gourdtoberfest, and do a whole pig. And she's like, my parents raise pigs in South Dakota, and we've done it. We've got the roaster and everything. And she's like, I'll bring it into town and I'll get you a hog. And she's like, the thing is like, you don't want to buy a full size hog. You want to buy a pig that's slaughtered at a particular time so that it doesn't because like a 500-pound hog would be so hard to cook. But if you get something that's like 75 pounds.
Sure. I'm guessing age depends on the tenderness too, or something maybe.
I don't know. Probably like
veal.
Yeah. Right. Like, is there a piglet version of veal? So I think now I get to live that dream. Like I get to cross that thing off my bucket list and be done with it. And I'm so excited.
What's weird for me too with pig products, love bacon.
Yeah.
Love pork, love all that. Deli ham. Yeah. It's just more ham. It's just more pig. I think it's gross.
Now, let me ask you this.
I don't know why.
Okay. So I think for example, I can't eat deli turkey. I love turkey.
You can't eat deli turkey.
I don't like deli turkey. Okay. I don't like it at all. And I think it's because when they slice it, it has to be kind of like cured in some way. So like it gets that kind of sliminess to it, that like almost like a wet coating on both sides. The only kind of deli turkey I will eat is if they do, like if it looks like it was just carved off of, they call it carving board, like a carving board style where it looks like it was actually carved off of turkey breast.
Yeah.
And
so that's kind of some crispy skin on it, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Thicker cut.
It's the exact same thing I would get if I carved a turkey at my house. Not like, hey, we took this big, all these turkey breasts and ran it through the machine to keep it together. Because like by its nature, turkey kind of crumbles a little bit, right? Yeah. Like it, like a turkey breast should separate fairly easily. And you look at these thin pieces and you're like, this doesn't separate at all. Like, what's going on? Why am I eating meat paper? It doesn't work. That being said, I'm really on a cured meat kick right now. Hard salamis, summer sausage.
I'm actually in the same boat. I've been eating.
Really?
It partly stemmed from my trip to Arkansas. When we were driving back, we would just pretty much stop at Subway each time, just so that it would be, non-greasy light meal. And I would always get a spicy Italian. And ever since then, I've just been like, I want pepperoni and salami and everything. So I am a pepperoni hound. I fucking love pepperoni. And I think salami tastes great. It tastes even better when you pair it with pepperoni.
I can't believe I should have brought you some, but I was just at Casetta's Market in St. Paul, my favorite Italian grocery store. And they sell pepperoni by the stick. Ooh. And so I've got 4 pepperoni sticks in my fridge right now. Real good stuff.
Have you, in the Twin Cities, have you ever eaten at the Seward Cafe? It's in the Seward neighborhood or whatever. Best breakfast you will have. Best hash browns and eggs. Oh my God, JJ.
What?
Absolutely the best. It's like a farming collective commune. It's run by a bunch of hippy dippy people that grow all their own food or whatever.
I love hippy dippies.
Yeah. And, but oh my God, like the hash browns alone, I would drive there today if I had the time just to go eat there if I could. So I highly recommend the Seward Cafe.
Can I tell you that I have a preferred hash brown place in Minneapolis already?
Really?
Yeah. I'm up by the Seven Corners. Have you ever been up to that area? So it's called the Seven Corners because a bunch of roads converge together, and they form 7 corners.
Yeah.
Bullwinkle's, which is the name of a famous old bar, used to be there. And I think there was copyright infringement on the Rocky and Bullwinkle show. But just down from there, there's a place called the Wiener's Circle. And it is disgusting. It's probably got 5 tables in it. It is the greasiest greasy spoon. And it's, the room that we're in right now is roughly the size of the entire restaurant.
Oh, okay.
And so what they do, though, is they make these extra crispy hash browns, but you can get them in these variety of ways. And then you essentially get hash browns along with your hot dog, right? Ooh, so they do one that I have tried to recreate a couple times where they make these ultra crispy hash browns and then they put a light layer of chili over it. And it's a very it's not quite Gold Star Cincinnati style chili thin, but it's a thinner chili. And then they put a lump of coleslaw on the top of it.
Nope, I'm out. Nope, no thank you.
It is, but you could just get it with chili if you wanted.
There you go.
It is, and when they cook their hash browns, they chop up garlic and they cook the garlic in with the hash browns, and they really flatten a lot out so that it is crunchy and crispy all over, and then it's so good.
One of the things that kind of depresses me as I go through my Anthony Bourdain kick is he had the kind of job, not as a chef or as a line cook, but doing the travel stuff, getting to taste different foods and stuff. To me, that's probably one of the best jobs on the planet. However, I know I don't have as good enough taste to want to try absolutely everything and know there's a version of it that I would like, right? I don't think there were any foods that he was like, no, I'll never eat that. I just think that's disgusting. Or I need to maybe watch a bit more. But for the most part, you put it in front of him, he'll eat it and have an opinion on whether it's good or not. But there are so many things like that. I would have been, no, but I just don't want it with that. Well, it's should you really be hosting this travel channel then? You want to bastardize what the locals are saying is the right way to eat the food.
Have you ever seen Shane Torres, the stand-up comedian, talk about Guy Fieri?
No.
So trust me, this goes in. So he was on Conan, and Shane Torres is just like Mitch Hedberg. He's got a great amount of stage fright. And so he can't he kind of performs the audience, but he's turned away from the audience while he performs. So he goes can I ask everyone a question? Why does everyone hate Guy Fieri? He goes, just because it looked like he was struck by lightning while drinking Mountain Dew, all y'all think he's a jerk. He goes, let me
perfect description.
Yeah. And he goes, let me tell you something about Guy Fieri. Guy Fieri tours around the country and gives national media attention to small businesses that could never afford that kind of exposure on their own. Also, his company gives health benefits to everyone. What is it? It gives health benefits to everyone, pays more than they should. And just in case you need a little extra syrup on your pancakes, he gives pretzel making machines to nonprofits so that they can do this. And he officiated a gay wedding before it was cool to do something like that. And he goes, but just because he's got racing stripes on his refrigerator, y'all think he's a piece of garbage. And then, and he goes, and then he further goes and says, like, he's good, like, and you treat that guy like he's Nickelback. Also, what did Nickelback ever do to you? All they did was make 40 million bros happy, and you guys are so mean to Nickelback. And he goes, but y'all can't get enough of Anthony Bourdain, and that guy looks like he's mean to dogs. Yeah. He goes, who would you rather be in a foxhole with, Guy Fieri or Anthony Bourdain? Because I'm telling you now, Anthony Bourdain is the guy who gets the rest of the platoon killed because he's too afraid to go over the top. But Guy Fieri is the one that says, come on, boys, let's go to Flavortown. And he's the first one over the hill.
That's so good. That's a great description. I have a coworker who, like, his two favorite bands are Nickelback and Goo Goo Dolls. Yeah. And I went, really? And not to try to shame him, but I just didn't see that being this guy's fandom at all.
Sure.
The hating on Nickelback, ton of fun. Way fun.
It is. And let me tell you something. I've got at least one Nickelback song on like a random playlist I have.
I do not.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Not a single one?
No.
Why not?
I just don't.
Oh, clearly we haven't been through their entire discography with you. I think you like the B-sides.
I think I do remember Chad Kroeger singing on the Spider-Man soundtrack and kind of liking that song. So I guess it was My Hero. I think it was just what it was called. I kind of like that one a bit, but that was more or less because it was attached to Spider-Man.
They're the ones who do they made a music video and it was Rockstar, right? Like they're the ones who do the song Rockstar.
Oh, wait.
All you want to be the big rock star.
I was thinking, hey, now you're a rock star. That's an all-star.
That's all-star.
That's all-star. Okay. That's Smash Mouth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a ton of Smash Mouth CDs, by the way, at the St. Francis thrift shop in downtown Fargo on First Avenue South, if anyone's looking, right next to the Blenders Christmas albums. I need to go back and dig out what Blenders CDs I have so I know what I have and don't have and can start finishing up that collection at some point. But
fun.
Of all my hobbies, CD collecting is low on the list.
Low.
Very low on the list. But Blenders, I want to be a completist.
Yeah, why not, right?
Why not?
I just interviewed a person from Fargo who's aiming to collect 1,000 copies of Wedding Crashers.
Okay, yeah. I've seen their stories before. They were in the newspaper. It goes DVD, right?
Well, interesting fact, they're looking for DVDs, but they're accepting all formats. Sure. So they said they've got one copy on VHS. Okay. The day that they came in, they had just received a package and included the VHS, but they also got one of those UMD discs from like the PlayStation, like Vita or whatever.
Yeah.
And so,
hell yeah.
So they.
I love the concept of hoarding media like that.
And I asked how it started, and they said, "Listen, I was at a a pawn shop, and they had a bunch of them like together on a shelf, and it was 25 cents a copy for each of them." Oh, sure. So they said, well, I'll just, I'll buy 25 copies. It'll be this funny thing that I have in my living room and people will ask me about it. And then all of a sudden birthdays roll around and other events. And all of a sudden people are like, oh, and here I was out somewhere and I got this for you. I was at a garage sale and I picked this up for you. And now they're over 600 copies.
Good for them. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I need to count how many Jurassic Parks I have. It's in the 70s now. I'm getting close to having just one shelf of Jurassic Parks, but that I am all for any version of collecting multiples. If you're doing it ironically as a joke, I'm all for that. If you're doing it unironically, like I am, because I actually love the art and I love seeing multiple, it's there's a little piece of me that's on the spectrum, and that serves that piece of me that's on the spectrum for some reason, because I actually have memories about that tape and that movie and that graphic design, and I just love seeing it one after the other on there. But dude, I mean, I cannot find a Jurassic Park to save my life in this town. I have most of them.
Yeah,
I think I do.
You can't have mine.
I don't need all of them.
Don't you dare break into my house and try and take it.
I don't need all of them.
And if you're the one who sent that guy who's doing door to door, like like security systems, and this was your elaborate plan to be able to gain access to my house.
Yeah.
You just know I told him to hit it, just kick the curb. Oh, I was so mad on Friday. So I was rolling solo at the house. Okay, so it's just me at the house.
That's usually when you're at your happiest.
It's every now and then you just need to recharge, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm cooking a meal for myself that's just for me.
Are you doing a little kind of dance while you do it?
I am actually.
Just a little hip sway back and forth.
Oh, I forgot. That's the other thing I wanted to tell you. I gotta save that for the next episode though, because it's such a good idea. It's like, every now and then I have an idea that is so good.
Yes.
Right. This is one of those so good ideas. Okay, hold on. Let me make a note of myself so that like I can write it.
Why not just talk about it here? Why hold?
Because I want to dedicate an episode to it.
Dead babies.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
It's deed. It's a deed to babies. I think we should all get a deed when you get a baby, like the way you get a cat.
Can I get a sneak peek? I won't say anything.
No.
Oh man.
So I watched 2 movies while I cooked. Like they're part of the same franchise.
So you were cooking for at least 4 hours.
I slow roasted my tomahawk steak.
Oh,
yeah, right, real thick, real nice. I love these pretzel buns that you can get at Breadsmith. Mm-hmm. So it's like pretzel bread.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? So I took 4 of these pretzel breads.
It's my favorite bread.
And they're bun size, and I cut them and I turned that into garlic toast. Oh yeah. Hell baby.
Yeah.
I did Brussels sprouts with carrots in my steamer, and then I finished it by glazing them real quick in the pan. And then I did I love mushrooms, and I've got this recipe they're called like Tom Wynn's secret mushroom recipe. Tom Wynn used to be a host on KFGO. In fact, I'm going to put the recipe right here, right now on JJ Meets World. I keep it in a special like recipes section of my phone. Okay, hold on. Wait.
That actually is what I use my phone photos for the most part, is to reference things. I need to remember this thing. I also do it when I go shopping at Menards, because a lot of things the price tag won't be on the object. So I'll bring the price tag with me on my phone.
Really?
Like buying 2x4s.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. I mean,
every time I bought 2x4s, the person at the counter thanks me for bringing the photo with.
Right. It's great. I did that with a hog panel I purchased from Runnings recently. Okay. This is Tom Wynn's secret mushroom recipe. 2 packages of fresh mushrooms, rinsed carefully, 1 stick of butter, a 1/4 pound. Do not try margarine in the notes. 2 shots of sake. We use white wine. Do not use red wine. And so I actually had to buy sake for this the first time I did it. 10 shakes of soy sauce, 3 shakes of garlic powder, 3 shakes of onion powder, 4 shakes of pepper. Simmer mushrooms in this liquid for 1 hour with cover on the pot. Mushrooms will shrink during the simmering process. It makes these salty, but there's a slight sweetness to it from the sake or the white wine.
Gotta share that with Matt McGregor. He's a mushroom fanatic.
Oh my God. It is out of this world. And I do a double batch of it because then I can just have it forever. But I will thin slice the mushrooms sometimes so that they can be like the mushrooms I serve on my steak if I want it.
Okay.
And then what else? My grandmother used to make something that she called squawk corn. Okay.
Is it squash?
No, nothing to do with squash.
Oh, okay.
Like squawk like a bird, like squawk, squawk. Okay. And there's no bird in it either. There's nothing but. So what it is you take cream corn.
I always thought that to make corn, you have to grow it, right? That's how you make corn.
Well, that's how you birth corn.
Right. But okay. Preparing corn.
Yeah, preparing. This is prepared corn.
I'm being real specific here.
You take a can of cream corn. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm a firm believer. You get what you pay for with your cream corn. Buy the name brand, right? Like buy the Jolly Green Giant cream corn. It's so much better than the generic. So it's a can of cream corn, and then you dice up some green onions, specifically like the green stalk part of the onions, and then you crumble bacon into it as well. So it's bacon, onion, and the cream corn.
Yeah.
And so it just complements.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, right? Like it complements the steak so well. So I'm eating this meal.
I'd love to eat that with a biscuit.
Yeah, it's so good, right? And like things like when I'm eating the garlic toast, like I put a little bit of the steak juice on the garlic and then I rub it in the corn stuff, and it's So good. In fact, right now I'm hungry for it. Also, the other thing, I fully cleaned out the fridge while I was like doing all of this, and I cleaned the kitchen. And you know what's amazing about my kitchen? It has stayed clean all weekend long.
Is this how you got angry? Because I'm like, where does the angry part come in? Like, this sounds awesome.
I know. So
what a great day.
Great. So I'm making the mushroom sauce, the sauce that goes in the mushroom. Okay. And I don't have the stove on high, but about medium, right? And I'm using a Dutch oven to cook it. And so the Dutch oven, it's porcelain lined, but it's cast iron in the middle. And I know you think about farts, right? Every time someone says Dutch oven, Tucker can't help it, right?
You said it. Yep.
So bing bong. And I can see from my kitchen that there's somebody standing, not in front of my door, but like 10 steps away from my front door. So they took the time to ring the doorbell, but not
back.
Yeah, right. And so I go and I answer because we are in canvassing time for politicians, right? And so whoever it was, I feel like it's rude because the windows are all open. There's no way that they don't know I'm home.
I literally shake my head like, no. Like, I don't give a fuck if you see that I don't want to talk to you.
So I answer the door and the guy's like, hey, how's it going? My name's Sebastian. And I was like, hi, what can I do for you? And he's like, are you the decision maker in this house? And I said, well, I'm one of them. And he was, oh, could the other decision maker come to the door? And I'm like, no, like they're not here right now. I noticed you have a Nest doorbell. He's like, do you know how unreliable those are? And I'm like, I don't know, because for the last year and a half that we've had it, it's been working really well.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, the batteries go out. And I'm like, it's hardwired. And at one point I'm just like, can I help you with something? He's like, I also noticed you didn't have any cameras facing your driveway. And he goes,
I'm already annoyed at this
right.
fucking
And
guy.
he's like, do my eyes deceive me? And that he literally says this, but is your car an amazing, like translucent green color? Now, this is also maybe a compliment I should have taken, but like I had just taken my car to the car wash. It's a silver car. And so it was just reflecting the grass off of it. And I'm like, nope, it was just the green grass reflecting. He's like, that would be a great color for a car, that translucent green. And so I was like, get to it. And he's like, I'm with this company, and I won't say I'm here. And we sell home security systems. And I just think, I've heard from a lot of your neighbors that they're all worried about theft. And I'm like, So it takes me like 5 minutes to get rid of this guy. And I've been working really hard personally on ending conversations.
Yep.
And so I was like, yeah, it's not something that we're interested in. He's like, maybe I could come by when the other decision maker is here.
Yeah.
And I said, that'd be fine. But as you can see, like we use ADT, like we already have like a security system. He's like, I could probably save you some significant Skrilla.
God damn it. I hate this guy. Sebastian, you suck. You suck at sales.
And
you suck at sales.
And also, why are you 10 feet away from me? Like, I answered the door, and so now I'm having to stand in the like halfway onto my porch while this guy's way down there. And so he's like, have you recently been burgled? And I said, no. He's like, how could you be sure? And I was like, because I inventory my goods every single day, all of them, all of my treasures and everything I love. So
fuck off, Sebastian.
He leaves, and when I go back, the sauce at this point has now cooked down, so it's like a jelly in there instead. So I had to get rid of all of that, wash out the pan, and start over, and that really pissed me off.
Yeah. If a company, I don't care what they're selling, if they're engaging in door-to-door sales, you've lost my business. Stay away from my fucking house.
I don't mind door-to-door sales.
I hate it.
What I don't like is I don't like people working off of a script and thinking that what works for A is going to work for B. I mean, you're telling me that you want to sell me a home security system. I think like your best way to come forward is to be like, hello, like my name is Sebastian, and like I'm with this company, and we're kind of gauging the neighborhood. We're living in an ever changing world, and like start by saying like we have an AI powered blah blah blah,
which they
whatever
don't.
it is,
Which
right?
They don't. They're using a term that's not real for them.
But don't
just
go
like when
through this
crypto,
rigmarole.
like everything was like, oh, we're using blockchain for this. It's like, no, you're not.
No,
you
you're
saw
not.
that thing. You're not using AI. You're not using that. Nope. God, I'm so mad now, JJ.
I know.
You've made me mad for you. I want to tell this guy.
Tucker's furious. You should see how he's pouring. I've never seen someone pour so angrily before.
Anytime, like, it's been a while since this happened, so maybe I'm on a list of don't go to this guy's house because he doesn't want you there. But I've had salespeople come to the door, and I'll just say, "Can I help you?" Yeah, and I'll just say, "Are you selling something?" They say, "Well, are you selling something?" I am. Thanks, I'm not interested. Thank you. Have a good day. And you don't have to be mean.
Mm-hmm.
You could say, "Oh, thank you very much. I'm not interested. Have a good day." Shut the door, and they go away. Anytime I see someone with a clipboard on the street, it could be for something I care about. No, thank you. Leave me the fuck alone.
Sir, would you like to sign the
Nope.
JJ Gordon Deed Babies Act? We need 10,000 signatures.
I think the only thing they would get me to sign would be if they needed that to get Happy Joe's back to Fargo. Like, we need a petition.
But I mean, that's happening.
But you.
So they already did the work.
So they already did the work. But in that case, wear a shirt that says Happy Joe's petition, so I can see from a distance what it says. Right? Like, so I can go. Oh, I need to go right over there and sign up. I think a large part of the strategy for door-to-door sales is they're relying on older folks who want to socialize and feel it would be rude to turn them away, and the social quote-unquote contract kicks in, and they're more likely to buy from you when they're having that versus just looking at a website. And I get it, but fuck off with your security system.
The best door-to-door salesman I've ever seen in my entire life was this guy who said, like, just so you know, I'm a felon. And I was like, And he goes, I'm working with a group. Like, it's hard for us to find jobs. I've paid my debt to society. And so they're selling this cleanser. And so he showed me about how there's an area on my siding where an old air conditioning unit had dripped down. And so it was discolored there and kind of this like brownie, like muck. And so he takes the cleanser. He's like, can I show you what this can do? Like, you know, like, it's great. It works in your bathroom. It works in your kitchen. Blah, blah, blah. And he goes, and this is something. He goes, and so he takes a rag and he's like rubbing on it and it's not coming off. It's not coming off. Not it's coming off. And he goes, let's use the competitor. And so he pulls out like Windex and he sprays it on. And it's like, does a little bit, but not enough. And he goes, let's try this. And it's orange flavored. Or orange scented. And so he sprays it on and like, he leaves it for like 10 seconds and he wipes it off and like it wipes it off. Like, I was really impressed. I'm like, oh my gosh, that did a good job. And he goes, you want to see something that's really going to like blow your mind? I'm like, okay.
He whips out his dick.
No, he takes the top off and he takes a swig of it.
Okay.
And he like goes grrr, and gargles with it for a minute and then drinks it down.
This dude's like, I've been drinking so much of this shit today.
He's like, I've drank so much. He goes, all natural ingredients and it's so good for you. And I was like, whoa. And he goes, now, can I interest you in a bottle of this? And I'm like, yeah, I think I want to get a bottle of your orange cleanser. And he's like, all right. Now, you've already said yes. I've already got the sale. But maybe what you want to do is get two. Because if you're going to get one, you're going to want to get a second one. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just do the one bottle. And he's like, okay, here's the thing. It's 2 bottles for $80 or 1 bottle for $50. So you save money by getting 2. And I'm like, 1 bottle is $50? And I was like, you lost me on this one. Like $50 for a single bottle?
Well, you already said yes. That's a contract. You have to buy now.
And he's like, sir, I really like you. So what if I do this? What if I drop, right? What if I drop the price down?
Dude, just sell drugs. Just sell drugs.
Here's the thing.
You don't have to do this with drugs.
Right? So I'm like, you don't have to bring the drugs to someone's house. They'll come to you.
You don't have to be like, see how natural this weed is as I'm smoking it right
you're like, yeah, right. Like you can enjoy it. It's not like drinking. So
this will forget your pain for an hour. Thank you.
I end up spending like $35, but I buy a bottle of this magic cleanser, right? So I'm talking about it with my coworkers the next week, and they're like, oh my God, I bought a bottle of it too. And I said, wait. So people descended and they're like, because we don't live in the same areas of town. And I'm like, there's no way it's the same guy that I had. So yeah, a bunch of people had like walked all over the place and been like, all right, move as much of this cleanser as you possibly can.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Nope.
I'm going to bring some of the cleanser for you and you can try it because
I don't want to try it.
It's been 6 years and I have not used up this bottle of cleanser
Yeah, I'm
yet.
guessing.
And here's the thing.
I'm guessing it's got citric acid in it.
So I don't make messes big enough to require it. And I do a good job cleaning my home and my spaces that I just don't need it.
Yep. It's probably just citric acid in some flavoring in there.
Don't tell me what it is. You don't know. They weren't squeezing grapefruits.
Is there an ingredients list on the side?
No, it was handwritten. And like he signed the bottom of it. Like,
this is human bile.
Mm-hmm. Be like, I've drank piss before. That's going to wrap it up for today's show. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help us continue to produce new episodes each week, visit jjmeetsworld.com, where you can donate to our Patreon, pick up some swag at the merch shop, or follow our link to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the sites the cool kids are using these days. JJ Meets World is produced every week by Tucker Lucas. You can find out more about Tucker's work by visiting moonbasemaria.com. If you want to get in touch with your host with the most, check out linebenders.com, where you can find direct contact info for JJ or booking information. I like supporting people who can tell me jailhouse stories and show me the shank that they made.